Hi everyone, it is Monday, September 13th, and I am doing this secret vlog. If you were watching the live stream on Izzy's channel where we were roasting Heather, we decided to do this kind of like readathon where it's called the Hee-Uh readathon, and this is where we just go through Heather's books and maybe read some she's DNF'd, maybe read some she's given 5 stars, and just see how her ratings compare to our ratings. So a bunch of us are doing this. Izzy over at Happy For Now, Bree at The Locked Booktician, Bree at 11 Words, Ashley at Bookish Realm, Stef from Novelty Corner. Oh gosh. Who else? Oh, Megan from Meow with Vader. I think that's it. Nayema over at Nayema's Reads. I think that's everybody. But so yeah, we just went through her books. We have a spreadsheet and everything just so we could all read something different. Speaking of spreadsheets, I made my own spreadsheet. Let's see if I can pull it up. Okay, so this is what I'm reading for the Hee-Uh readathon / reading vlog. So her DNFs that she has given: The Marriage Contract by Katie Robert. If that doesn't just give you pause and maybe you don't think you could trust Heather's recommendations just from that alone, I'm with you. Next is Morning Glory Milking Farm by C.M. Nacosta. Next is Seducing His Secret Wife by Robin Covington. So those are the DNFs that she has done. She has DNF'd those books, so those are the ones that I'm going to be reading. And these are the ones that she has given 5 stars to. The Fixer by Jessica Gadziela and Wildest Dreams by Kristen Ashley. I'm really excited to read Wildest Dreams because Heather gave it 5 stars, but Izzy over at Happy For Now gave it 2 stars. So I am very interested to see where I'm going to fall on that, because I mean, Heather and I rate similarly, but I feel like Izzy and I rate things even more similarly. You know, I feel like Izzy and I have very similar reading tastes, more so than me and Heather. So that is kind of what I'm hoping to read this week. Will I read them all? I don't know. I'm going to try my best. I did start Morning Glory Milking Farm this morning. I started and finished it, so I read it all. So we basically have Violet in Morning Glory Milking Farm. She has just graduated. She has a bunch of student loans, of course, like who else can relate? And she's having a hard time getting a job in her field that's not entry level, that could barely pay her bills. So instead of moving back home to live with her parents, she decides to take this job at a pharmaceutical company who makes erection pills for men. And she is responsible for handling and basically obtaining that one ingredient. And that one ingredient is Minotaur cum. Apparently, the erection pill that men need to take, you know, if they're having trouble, has Minotaur semen in it. I mean, I've heard of weirder things, but so yeah. And how else do they get this semen other than giving them hand jobs? Yes, so that is basically the premise of the book. She is training, and the first guy, Minotaur, she works on, immediately it feels different. She's super turned on, and he's supposed to be like this businessman, or like clock watchers, they call them. They're super important businessmen. They watch the clock because they're like, I gotta get back to work, I gotta go to a business meeting, I gotta blah, blah, blah. So he's a clock watcher, not really there, you know, to enjoy this. He's just there to do a job. And so he seems to enjoy it more than a normal clock watcher should. And Violet kind of just brushes it off, saying like, hey, it was my first time. It'll wear off, because she goes to work, you know, about her business, and she never feels that way again. So she's like, it was just a one-time thing. It was my first time. I just felt some type of way. And then this guy comes back and requests her personally. And so they don't necessarily begin a relationship, but they begin like flirting with each other. And he keeps coming back and requesting her. Like every Friday he comes back to donate to the cause. So finally he gets up to ask her out, and they start dating. And we find out his name is Rourke, because when he's there, it's completely anonymous. It's just like his initials and his like an ID number. She finds out his name is Rourke, and they embark on this relationship. And I think it's like super sweet. Actually, I really, really enjoyed it. It is a lot of fluids, so if you're not comfortable with that, I just be aware. It's a lot, especially because I feel like this is kind of like a slow burn romance, because they don't actually like have sex until like more than halfway through the book. Even though, yes, she's giving him hand jobs so he can come, but it's like clinical, you know. It's like they don't like have sex, you know, like their relationship, until more than halfway through. So I feel like it's a slow burn, even though it is kind of, you know, that situation. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I'm giving it 4 stars. So I was looking on Goodreads, and Heather didn't say why she DNF'd it. So I'm curious as to why she DNF'd it. So Heather, if you're watching this, why did you DNF Morning Glory Milking Farm? Because it was really sweet. I really liked it. Inquiring minds would like to know. But anyways, so now that I've read one of her DNFs, I think I'm going to move on to one of her 5 stars. So I don't know. I might just do Wildest Dreams, because my library had an ebook copy of it. So yeah, I will probably start that next. But yeah, this is going to be super interesting. We'll see. Hi everyone, it is Wednesday, September 15th, and I didn't vlog at all yesterday. Yesterday was just a bad day, just all around. I was irritated at work, and on my way home, I got a flat tire. So I had to call a Lyft to take me home, which was $30 fucking, by the way. And it was just I was just frustrated dealing with a lot, so I just didn't want to bring that, you know, which like I'm doing now. So I'm just going to move on. But okay, I did start Wildest Dreams by Kristen Ashley yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. And I finished it today. And, I'm going to start with the pros. So I really enjoyed the fantasy aspect of this. So it's like a time travel, kind of time travel, but like going to different realms. So we have our main character, her name is Fenny, and she is in like the real world, and she has paid a witch in the real world $1 million to go to this other land, where it's like everyone has a twin in this other land, except like if you're really, really evil, which is convenient. But everybody has a twin in this other world. So she pays the witch to take her there, or switch places with her twin, because her twin that's over there, she's a princess. She's about to be stuck in a loveless marriage. She's about to marry someone that she doesn't want to marry, because she doesn't like men. She's a lesbian. So she was going to do it. Like, she was going to marry this guy just because she's a princess. That's her duty. She was going to do it. But then this option came, and she was like, fantastic, I'm going to switch places. And so, yeah, they switch places, and Fenny is like just dropped in the middle. Her twin was supposed to give her a letter that was going to explain everything, and it just did not happen. like her letter was like one sentence. She's like, you're about to marry this guy, good luck. And she's like, the bitch. So she does. She marries this guy, and this guy seems to not like her very much, but she knows it's like the other girl that she looks like. And then after they get married, he kind of just like dumps her off in like this town, in this cabin that he owns. And just because she is just that type of person, she makes a lot of friends. And I think it's like weeks later, he finally comes back, and they talk about some misconceptions that they have for each other. So the reason why the guy that she married, who is called, his name is Frey, he's called the Dracker, and he is supposed to be like this emissary to elves and supposed to like summon and call on dragons. He's a very powerful person. And the reason why he didn't like Fenny, or her twin, so much is just because at one point Fenny had told, or her twin, sorry, I don't even know this girl's name, but she had told Frey that she doesn't like men, you know, she prefers women. And he was just like, it's not necessarily that he didn't like her, it's just like he didn't want, you know, to be stuck in a kind of loveless marriage either. But anyways, I digress. That was kind of weird, but I really liked that Fenny and Frey came around to each other. Like they really, like, it was like hate, you know, it was like, it's definitely like a hate to love. And they come around to each other. They realize that they're kind of had some, you know, bad first impressions kind of thing. And Frey figures out quite quickly that Fenny isn't who she says she is. So he gets this message from the elf saying like, you got to come and talk to us. We got some stuff we got to say. And that is where he finds out that Fenny is a person from another world. So he learns everything very quickly, which I thought was strange. My air just came on. I'm so sorry. He was like, I want to keep Fenny, and Fenny's twin, she basically committed treason, so her punishment is just going to be banishment. She's just going to have to stay in our world for good. And so he was just, the elves were like, well, there is a time limit on this magic. Like, they're going to go, like, they have to switch back in a year. And he's like, no, they don't. I'm commanding you to basically do this magic to make them stay, make their switch permanent. And he does this, obviously, without talking to Fenny. Which is irritating, but it's happened. It does. He does it. And then, so they're really like, their relationship progresses, and they are really like starting to get to know each other, and their relationship is super sweet. Like, he is like the definition of alpha, my way is the law kind of thing. And their land is a lot like that. Like, the men kind of hold the power, and that's kind of but he is just putty for Fenny, and it is super, super freaking cute. So their relationship, how that all progresses, I like that. I like them as a couple. I don't like the kind of high-handedness that Frey has, and that's just, honestly, that's just the way he is. I'm sorry that I'm using that excuse, but it is. Like, he's basically like, I'm a powerful dude, I'm also a man, and I'm the alpha, what I say goes kind of thing. But he really does take like her feelings into consideration, and they have this really great partnership, which I prefer that over him like running roughshod over her, which he does do a couple times. And when Fenny finds out, she does not take it very well, obviously. And he is like, they fight about it a lot, because not only does he make them, or their switch, permanent with magic, he finds out that Fenny is taking like this tea to prevent herself from becoming pregnant, because she's like, I'm not staying, I have to go back in a year, and I don't want to be pregnant and have my child grow up without a father. You know, very smart, conscious decision, because she's like, hey, I'm going to be going back in a year. She doesn't know that Frey made this deal and made the elves have their switch permanent. She didn't know that. So she's taking this tea, and obviously she didn't even want to be pregnant. Like, she doesn't want to be pregnant right away. She said maybe eventually after, like, we enjoy each other, and, you know, but so she was taking birth control for herself. And when he finds out, he instructs one of his men to go into town and find a powder or tea or whatever it is that looks similar to the tea that she's taking, and he throws all of her like non-pregnancy tea away and doesn't tell her. And he's like, oh, I'll tell her when she becomes pregnant. And she obviously does become pregnant, because they're going at it like rabbits at this point in time. But then when she does become pregnant, he still doesn't tell her. She's just living in ignorant bliss. He's so happy that she's pregnant, and she is feeding off his happiness. She has basically decided that at this point in the book, when she becomes pregnant, that she's going to stay. She wants to stay, and she wants to try and make it work. And when he finds out, the elves tell them, when he finds out that she's pregnant, he is very, very happy. You know, he thinks it's great. He wants her pregnant anyway. And she can't help but feel like, oh, this isn't kind of what I wanted. I wanted to wait a little bit, but he's so happy. I mean, I do eventually want kids. It's just happening sooner rather than later. Not knowing that he took her anti-pregnancy tea. And he doesn't even freaking tell her when she does become pregnant. He's like, oh, I'll tell her. I'll deal with the consequences. I'll tell her. And he freaking doesn't. And I realized that at the beginning of this rant, I had said that I was going to start with the pros. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Okay, anyways, so I don't like that. I don't like the lying and the manipulation. She finds out because the witch that was handling the world swapping on their side, basically told her, like, you know, it's like, I've learned some things and I've been watching. Your husband said he was going to tell you, but since he hasn't, I am now doing so. So she, like, meddling, but for good reason. And she tells Fenny, and she's pissed, rightfully so, right? She's pissed. And they're having this big old fight. And a secondary plot is that somebody is trying to kill her, assassinate her, Fenny's twin, but Fenny's there, so she's obviously the target now, because they want to take over the throne. And so as they're fighting, she gets kidnapped, Frey gets shot with arrows, and she believes him dead. So that is basically the whole plot of the book, right? Okay. So what I like their relationship, how their relationship progresses, and how they do become a really good partnership and really good team. And they do trust each other, you know, towards the middle end. And they have a really very epic, swoony, steamy relationship, love story. And they both, you know, make mistakes, and they both hide stuff, and they both lie. He really got on my nerves a couple times. And also, the fact that he found out so soon. He found out and was basically okay with it before they were really in love. It was like the first night after he like basically abandoned her, and they hadn't even had sex yet. They hadn't even consummated their marriage, and he finds out so soon, and he's basically like, I'm keeping her. That's kind of strange. And the fact, you know, I thought maybe that would be like the third act breakup, you know, like he finds out that she's not who she says she is, and oh my God, you're a liar. I mean, lying does happen. But it's not. He finds out so soon. So I'm like, what else is there? And there is that underlying plot that people are trying to assassinate her. But this book is like over 500 pages long. Like, I don't understand. There was so much book for what it was. Like, that's basically, like, what I told you is basically the premise. And there's so much extra stuff that I wouldn't necessarily wasn't needed, but it was so, like, everything was so expanded. And it was just so, it was overly long. And you know what? I do know why it's overly long. Because what kind of got me and brought me out of the story a lot was the fact that the author repeated stuff almost verbatim, sometimes verbatim. You know, she was saying, like, there's this one part, and this is just the part that I'm thinking of because I'm just like, it really got me. They were getting her dressed for some formal dinner, and they were trying to decide which dress for her to wear. And they were talking about the colors, and they finally decided on this ice blue color. She's a winter princess, so ice blue. And so they kept talking about the ice blue gown this, the ice blue gown that, the ice blue gown, ice blue gown. Like, after they picked the dress, like, I know what the fucking color of the dress is. Every time you talk about the dress, you don't need to call it the ice blue dress. You really don't. And there are some times when it's Fanny's point of view and she would think something and then she would say it, like, verbatim. Like, if you're just gonna have your character say what she's thinking, just fucking have her say it. Right? Like, don't be like, there's like some part in the story where she says, I can't believe the loyalty they're showing me. And then she immediately, the next sentence is like her talking to Frey, I can't believe they're showing loyalty to me. If you're gonna have her say her fucking thought word for word, just don't have the thought. Just have her say it. Like, and that happened so much. Things were repeated, full sentences were repeated verbatim. Whether it was a thought, whether it was a description of something. Honestly, it kind of drove me nuts. I'm like, I thought maybe something was happening, like maybe like something happened with like the Kindle edition where it was like a glitch and sometimes like the paragraph would repeat, but there was slight differences. And I'm like, no, this is a whole separate paragraph, but she's literally saying the same thing that she said in the previous paragraph. Like, I don't understand why that's necessary. But, so yeah, that was kind of my thoughts about it. I do like the story. It is a series that I'm planning on continuing. Hopefully, it's not so fucking long. I don't know if they were mistakes, but the repeating, it really dragged me out. I'm like, why is she repeating that? That's so stupid. And she kept saying, Fanny, she kept saying, I know she's from Earth. I know she's from like a contemporary modern world. And it's cute when she would say things like, she was saying like, oh, how cool. And Frey, like, obviously doesn't know what she's talking about because they don't have that kind of terminology. And she explains it, and he kind of like, he thinks it's adorable. He thinks she's adorable. But all the time she thinks, whenever something strange is happening or something tense or like sex, maybe, she kept saying, ho boy. Not oh boy, ho boy. H-O boy. And she says it, or she doesn't say it. She thinks it all the time. Literally, like, it's almost like every couple of pages. Like, everything is just so, like, obviously everything is so wondrous to her, and she's like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. But it was literally like, ho boy. That was kind of annoying to me. So, Heather rated it 5 stars. Izzy rated it 2.5. I'm going to be like somewhere, I'm going to rate it 3 stars. It's just, there's things in there. I mean, it was good, and I do want to continue, but there are things that irked me, very much so. So I'm going to move on to another book, probably after I finish The Sword of Summer, because I do have that live stream tomorrow with Bree. We're do our Uncle Rick's read along. So let me just see, where do I have it. Here it is. My little cheat sheet. Okay, so I just did a 5 stars. So let's do a DNF. And I have either The Marriage Contract by Katie Robert or Seducing His Secret Wife. I think I have Seducing His Secret Wife somewhere around here. I have a physical copy of that book. I think I'm going to do The Marriage Contract, actually, by Katie Robert. Because I have the Kindle version of it, and if I can't sit down to physically read it, I can at least have Siri read it to me. But yeah, that's probably going to have to be after I read The Sword of Summer, because live stream tomorrow. But hopefully I can get at least, it's the 15th, hopefully I can get at least 2 more books. Like another 5-star and then another DNF. That's my goal. But yeah, I just wanted to update you on that, kind of tell you where I was at, and I'll talk to y'all a little bit later. Bye! Hey everyone, it is Friday, September 17th, and yesterday I finished reading The Sword of Summer for my Percy Jackson read along, or I'm sorry, Uncle Rick's read along that I do with Bree. So now that I'm finally able to focus on the Hee-Uh readathon, I started The Marriage Contract by Katie Robert. This was another book that Heather DNF'd. It doesn't say why she DNF'd it, just that it was DNF'd in April of 2020. So this book is basically like a mafia romance. We have our heroine who is set to marry a jerk. I forget his name already, but it doesn't matter, because she, at the very beginning of the book, she's like, I need to talk to him. He's been like dodging my calls, so I'm just gonna go to him. And turns out he's at a strip club, banging a stripper, but more than just banging her, like choking the life out of her, and she has like black eyes and like a split lip. So he like beats them before he proceeds to slowly kill them while having sex with them. So that's what she has to look forward to. But he mistakes her for like another stripper, like sent to relieve the other dead one, and because she's in disguise to get out of the house and to get past his security, and he like attacks her. So she has some form of self-defense, like she tries to knee him in the balls, and he like starts choking her, but she sees his gun on the nightstand and shoots him dead. So that's a plus. But her father is like, okay, well, we still need an alliance because your brother, who was going to be the heir, died, and I'm slowly dying as well. So he's like, we have to have an heir. You have to be married. And so they just make another alliance with the O'Malleys. And they are like at this party where they're going to announce the engagement with the O'Malleys. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. Not very far in, like 10-15% in. So but yeah, I don't know why Heather DNF'd it. I really enjoy Katie Robert, so I have a feeling that I'm gonna like this book too. I just got to work, I just clocked in, and I will update you all on my lunch break. Hopefully I'll have this book finished by then so I can start another 5-star read, so I can at least read 4 books for this vlog. Because we're supposed to upload everything by the 19th, and here it is, the 17th. Ooh, I need one of these days to edit everything. It's gonna be close. Hi everyone, it is Friday, September 17th? 17th, yes. And it's like, oh God, what time is it? Nearly 10 o'clock. And just got home from dinner, and I'm so close to being done with The Marriage Contract by Katie Robert. Honestly, I don't know what the heck is wrong with Heather, because I don't know how she DNF'd this book. It is so good from like start to almost finished. It's like, It is so good. It is so good. It's like, it's kind of rough to start just because with the whole, you know, sexual assault, beating the woman. But that is literally the only thing. The relationship between Callie and Teague. Yes, his name is Teague. I mean, it's kind of insta-lovey, but I like it. It worked. Stakes are very high, you know, because Callie killed Brendan, who is the son of one of the kind of more ruthless mafia. He kind of wants like retribution. You know, he's like, someone killed my son. I want to find out who it is. And they were just killing people left and right. Like, spoiler alert, they killed Teague's brother. And then they kidnapped his sister. And then Callie's feeling guilty because she's like, I was the one that killed Brendan. And his family is the one that is like basically paying for it. So like the part of the book where I'm at right now is that she is turning herself over to this mafia family. And Teague is not happy because she calls and says like, I'm telling you goodbye. And he's like, don't freaking do this. We'll find some other way. So he's freaking out. And I'm really, really enjoying it. I'm really, really enjoying it. I don't know. It doesn't say why Heather DNF'd it. I don't know why. It's so, so good. I'm seriously, like, based on my Kindle reading speed, I'm like 20-ish minutes from the end. So I'm going to finish it. And then hopefully I can finish one other book tomorrow. So the next 5-star, because I did a DNF, so I'm going to do another 5-star, which I have The Fixer by Jessica Gadziela. I know Heather loves this author, so I'm really excited to see what I think of this book. But yeah, I will update y'all a little bit later. Bye! Hey everyone, it is Saturday, September 18th, and I'm just woke up a little bit ago, like an hour ago. I'm gonna make some coffee, and then I have like this writers group that I'm going to check in on. But I started The Fixer by Jessica Gadziela, and I'm not very far in, like not even 10%, I don't think. And this girl, she has a stalker, and it's escalated. And the cops won't do anything for her. And she gets desperate and she looks online and looks up this guy called The Fixer. So she calls and his receptionist is like, we don't typically take on stalker cases. The Fixer, he comes in when shit has hit the fan and you need to, you know, something serious has happened and you need to get it cleaned up, whatever. But she's like, I'll pass your number on to the boss. And she just has this gut feeling like that night, that is the night it's going to happen. And so she goes like down the street to like this kind of not so good neighborhood. And she sees this guy and he's like a spiker guy. And she's like, I need to buy a gun. And so they have like this transaction. She buys a gun for home protection. She buys like this mean pit bull for protection, but he still gets in. She has like a security system in her house too, like all of like these little things on her windows, like if they open, this alarm goes off. She has pushed fridges in front of her back door and a bookcase in front of her front door, but he still gets in. And she gets woken up in the middle of the night by him taking pictures of her, and it escalates. He doesn't rape her, very close, but she finally gets the gun and like shoots and kills him. And so this Fixer guy, I forget his name, he comes in and he's going through everything that he's missed because he's been off work. And his receptionist is like, I really think you need to check this out because she sounded terrible. And so he does. He goes and checks it out. He finds this guy dead on the floor and she is scared out of her mind. And she's like, I'm gonna go to jail. Like, I killed this man in my house. And he's like, well, no, you're not, because I just took your case and we're gonna clean this up, but you have to let me handle it. So that's kind of where I'm at now. But I'm really liking it so far. Never thought I'd say that. But I'm gonna do this writing group and then hopefully I'll get to read more today. Talk to you later. Hey everyone. So it's a little bit later in the day. It's like almost 2 o'clock. Did my writers group, which is a lot of fun. It was like our first meeting, so it was really just kind of like goals, what we want to see out of the group, things like that. Really looking forward to it. After that, I did a workout. I want to eat better. I want to get back into working out, just because I feel tired all the time. And I know it's just because I'm feeding my body junk and I'm not working out. So I'm not exercising. So I really should have done it, you know, a long time ago, but I made some goals at the beginning of the year, but you know how New Year's resolutions turn out. But today was my second day working out. I worked out yesterday, worked out today. Feeling pretty good. I'm very, very sore. So, I went to the store and got some like Epsom salts with like hemp seed and stuff. So it said on the bag, I don't know, it's for like achy muscles and stuff. So I decided to, try that. And then I also like got stuff for lunches all next week because I want to stop like eating out, because really what's all around me is just like fast food, like pizza, like Burger King, you know, like, and I don't want to be feeding my body that junk. So, got stuff for lunches, and of course, like I got all this stuff for lunches, but I don't want to cook because I just worked out. So I'm stopping at Salad and Go and getting a salad. But all this time, that's not what this vlog's about. I'm sorry, I'm just rambling. I've been listening to The Fixer by Jessica Gadziela, so I'm really, really enjoying it. I think I have to read more of Jessica Gadziela's work. This is a series, I think. This book is the first book in a series, so I'm going to finish this series, definitely. I'm very much liking it, very much. But yeah, hopefully I will finish that book by the end of the day. I don't think I'm going to be able to squeeze one more book in, because I still, like, this vlog is supposed to be edited and uploaded tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern time. So that would be 9 a.m. my time. So yeah, I have to have all of this edited by tonight. Otherwise, it's just not going to be uploaded in time. But yeah, so those are my plans for the day. I just got to finish this book, do some editing, and get it uploaded. Check in a little bit later. Bye. Hey everyone, it is like 5:30. I just finished the book, The Fixer by Jessica Gadziela, and I really, really enjoyed the first, I want to say, half. The second half kind of went downhill for me, and I'll tell you why. So this book, as I've told you, it's about, you know, a stalker, and obviously she kills the stalker fairly quickly, like when he breaks into her house and she kills him in self-defense. And that's when the love interest comes in and fixes everything. He's the fixer. There was another little scene where she was kind of in danger because the stalker guy had a sister who, they were both pretty not all there. They were both, you know, had history of, you know, seeing therapists and being on meds, but they had been off their meds. So the sister wanted to know where her brother was, and she attacked our main character. What is her fucking name? Avon. Like basically asking like where he's at, and and hurt her pretty bad. And so that propelled her to stay in the fixer's, Quinn, their place of business, their compound, because he had like apartments there. But then like they found the sister really quickly, and unfortunately, she did take her own life. So trigger warnings for suicide if you're reading this book, and also gun violence and sexual assault and stalking, a lot of triggers. But, so everything wrapped up in this book at the halfway point, and that's very soon. And the rest of the book was them having like this phone pal relationship when he's off on another mission, and it got kind of boring. I mean, they're learning about each other, so it's not just like sex, you know, bringing them together, which I like, but that could have been done, like this whole stalking and the sister thing could have been drawn out and fleshed out, and he could have gotten to know her while she's like trapped in the compound and he's worrying about and working her case. Instead, like, her case is wrapped up very quickly and he goes on to another case, which you don't even get really the action details of that case. Is kind of like, oh, they're just stuck in a cabin in the middle of the wilderness. Kind of like reconnaissance, and it's kind of boring. So, and then we have our third act breakup when he comes back from this month-long reconnaissance mission to Russia. He sees her with this guy who was basically he was paying them for, because that was the mission that they were on. It was his name is Fenway. He got into some trouble by sleeping with a married woman, and that's basically why they were in Russia. So he comes back from Russia, Quinn, and he sees them kind of like hugging. Fenway is like kissing her, but it was literally like a peck on the cheek, and she like admonished him about it. Like, it's like, hey, we're just friends. Like, and Fenway is just that type of person, like very flirty and pushing boundaries and stuff. But they were like friends, you know, when the fixers were off, you know, doing all these missions, and they were just holed up together in their apartments. They literally had nothing to do but play Monopoly on end. So they sparked up a friendship and became very close. So he saw that, misinterpreted it, and then proceeds to ignore her for like 2 weeks. Until like she shows up to his apartment, because they had made a pact, like if they were alone on New Year's and they were lonely, that she would come over to his house. And so she did, and they kind of had their makeup, sex, escapades, and then the epilogue, you know, you get that, you know, kind of a year anniversary in the future kind of thing, and they're in love and he's planning on proposing. So that's basically the book, and it's very, very good right into the middle. Slow part, end is good. So I'm probably going to give it like a 3.5. I wouldn't necessarily say this is a 5-star read. She really should have dragged out that stalker, her case being the one that's being worked on, instead of him going off and doing other stuff. But anyway, so yeah, I did end up enjoying it, probably not as much as Heather. Do I want to continue on with the series and read more from Jessica Gadziela? Of course, yes, it was very entertaining. I liked the chemistry between our two characters, and I really liked all the side characters as well, so I want to read their stories and see what's going on with them. But overall, I mean, I've only read 4 books, and even though Heather and I have read and liked a lot of the same books, our reading tastes are similar in that regard. But I would say probably I would trust her 25% of the time. Oh gosh. But anyway, this was really fun. Who would have thought that Heather doing a video tear-raking her friend's reading taste to her own would just escalate to a whole live show and then a readathon and this vlog. So, yeah, anyways. Really enjoyed it. Hope you all did too. Laundry can't be done yet. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you've read any of these books, let me know, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!